Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another installment in Majora T Cast Returns. Today we are returning with a very long-time friend of the show. You may know him, you may heard of him. He's got legendary beard. Turbozone!
Turbo! Yeah! That's how I'll start every video now.
Dude, that was sick.
Thank you.
Let's kick things off with a fun question. What is a band that is equally as cringe as Nickelback?
What is a band that's equally as cringe as Nickelback? I don't want to say Smash Mouth. That's the easy one to go with.
Classic.
They are pretty bad.
Yeah.
You know what cringe band I actually like? And I'll fill you in if you don't know the band. It's Sugar Ray. Do you know Sugar Ray?
I know the boxer, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Sugar Ray does the song "I Just Want to Fly."
Oh,
you know that song?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that song's a bop, isn't it? But yeah, they're pretty cringe.
Okay.
Like all their songs are like that. All their songs, it's like that one, or they have like the one that's like, fuck, how does it go? It's like God damn, I can't think of the name of like how the song goes now. But they have a few different hits that they had in the '90s. And then the guy went on to play on ER, I think, or something.
Okay.
So,
Sugar Ray. I'll remember to add that to my YouTube playlist called Trash.
I just want to fly.
The first song I put on my Trash playlist is actually the Smash Mouth Shrek theme.
Buddy
Once told me. Anyways, we're here to talk topics. This is the Majora T Cast, and we actually just had a very special event. Me and Alex, we had a channel crossover. That was a really fun little event. If you missed a couple of videos, you can check out his channel, Turbozone. You can also check out his podcast, Turbo Dojo. You can check out my channel, and he's posted a bunch of great stuff. The Sonic Mania video essay. By this time, the other ones will have gone up as well. The Beginner's Guide for EDF, etc. Let's talk about just maybe our relationship as content creators over the years. What would you say has been maybe some standout memories that you have of us working together on content?
Well, I mean, there was definitely the early days whenever we first started working together. That was, that was an experience. I had collab with other people, Damon, other people in real life, friends. I'm not saying you don't exist, but I'm saying people near people in my vicinity. So whenever starting Turbozone and collabing with you, that was the first time I had done a lot of work with somebody that wasn't in my close friends group, that wasn't directly near me, that I could go to their house and hang out. I think at that point I had done one other crossover, and that was with I forgot. I don't even know what he's going by nowadays. At the time he was Fred Moore, Fred 2. Now and then he goes Factor 5 Fanatic, and I don't know what the hell he's doing now. But I had done stuff with him before. But yeah, that was definitely a standout thing for me, because that was it's just kind of a cool to get to collab with somebody for the first time and work together. And then the creation of the button mappers, that was big for me. I love the creation of the button mappers. We've done other stuff throughout the years. And I'm trying to think. It kind of put me on the spot. What else? What do you got?
Yeah, I think back to those early days, and I'll just kind of talk from my own lens too. That was definitely a new for me as well, because at that time I had primarily been doing my own videos, video reviews. We were both publishing on the Classic Gamer website, so that was the very early days. And I just remember being excited to find you and then see your reviews, and then be able to kind of chat it up and talk stuff. And it was very interesting. Even from a mechanical standpoint, the process of collaborating at that time in 2015, 2016, we were using Skype and a third-party software called Skype Recorder, and that thing failed on us. I don't know how many times. But I'm glad we've come a long way from then. So, but in terms of like the video standpoint, we've always had this kind of discursive style, but also this kind of focus on reviews, and also kind of the evolution of our content reflects that very interestingly. We've strayed far from reviews, but we've also come back to them in very interesting ways. And even on the button mappers, we've kind of realized that we are kind of vicariously doing that still, even through game talks, which I think is very interesting.
It's true. Trying not to make this another classic game room episode.
Hell yeah. Dude, I'm always trying to do classic game room episodes. That was a really, you know what, I've gone back and I listened to that. We've had like we had a Majora T Cast, an original Majora T Cast on Classic Gamer, but then we also had like a pure chess on PS4 Discourse on a CGR Mark III. That was fun. I like those episodes.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a big sticking point. I think that was, whenever we first started collaborating, I think that was a big point for me, because a lot of other people that I've worked with, not Damon's, my best friend, so that's kind of different. We connect for different reasons on like a, more of like a film level. But for the reasons you and I think worked was because at the time, a lot of the people that I was talking to or seeing on the internet weren't, they were trying to do things in a different way. Either it was like the big gaming publications, like, I don't know, IGN, GameSpot, those types of websites and stuff. The Game Trailers was still around at that point. Those types of like big, get a group of people together and you do reviews, and it's a big thing, corporate, whatever. Or the people that wanted to do more like John Tronny, like Angry Video Game Nerd, like comedic, reviews and stuff. I hadn't met a lot of people that just wanted to do like, just wanted to like, keep it real. Just like, kind of like why I like Classic Game Room in the first place was like just keeping it real, talking about like what you like, and not really caring what the reception is. Yeah.
Another fun thing is like you and I think people can tell this, but in a sense, we're our own kind of video makers. Like we have a legacy of video making, and I think that shows in the types of videos that we create, but that we also are just having fun doing it and think like being creative and beyond the box. I think one thing I've noticed working with you is that you are very reflective of the content that you put out or we put out, and thinking about what do we do well and what can we do better. I think even creatively too, well, obviously your Frickin' Frack skit channel is amazing and very thoughtful, and it was a different thing than what you were doing with a lot of the game reviews at the time, but it's something that has seeped into the kinds of videos that we do now. Recently, with like a lot of your TurboZone non-review reviews, I think they've been like fun little passion projects that have kind of blended all these elements together in ways that I don't think a lot of content creators at the time were doing. They were very much more so in the journalistic sense, like I'm going to script this out and just talk about all the mechanics, whereas you and I are more so like, what funny elements that are relevant can we throw in here in order to optimize and make the video as cool and fun and engaging as possible?
Yeah, I mean, and I could say for you, man, you've come a long way. Whenever we first started, talking back and forth and stuff, and I went on and saw your what you were doing. I enjoyed your reviews. Not saying, and I'm not trying to like say this from like a pretentious angle, because I was also making, I upload those videos from that era to my channel and call them shitty reviews. So I'm not trying to say like, I was so much better than you, but because that's not the case. But the stuff you were doing was, I watched like the reviews of like Dragon Quest Swords and of Fortune Street and stuff, and it was pretty basic reviews. They were good. I enjoyed them, but I think over the years you've kind of come into your own as well, as sort of like your style, the kind of things you do. The Speaks format is very unique. I was happy to get to partake in one of those, because it's a very unique way to like deliver content, and I think you've improved a lot over the years. So, I'm so proud.
Most improved award. I got a trophy. Yeah, man. No, I think that's really important, is that we are continuing to grow. When I was doing the Dragon Quest Swords and Fortune Street videos, those were the first video reviews I had done at the time that I got a hardware capture device. So I was actually just learning how to even use the thing at that time. And so, like they are very much novice projects, and I'm okay with that. And I think it is cool that like you have to start somewhere, and
Yeah, I mean,
I was pointing a flip cam at a DS,
Yeah, that was all of the Turbo Gamer videos for me as well. I had just gotten capture software. I didn't have a mic. I used a camera and recorded my audio that way, and overlay the audio with that. So, yeah, I mean, you have to start somewhere. I like to joke and look back. Like I said, I post my reviews from that era now and call them, the shitty review compilation, whatever. But like. Yeah, I mean, you have to start somewhere, and I don't look back on those as like, oh, my shitty reviews. It's like,
hmm
I'm kind of proud. It's like this is where I started, and this is where I am.
hmm Yeah, definitely. You got to make some shit in order to make some good shit, So, I think that's the level we're at right now is good shit. Let's talk about the channel swap, because we did take over each other's channels for a little bit. We post about the same amount of content, although you put out a bit more on my channel. What was the process of, because this is the first time that we've ever like just been like, okay, we're going to trade channels and put out videos on, on the other channel. Cause like we've done like button mappers and, other such, podcasting that you've done stuff on my channel. But, this time you took over like a couple select videos. What was that like for you?
It was, I don't want to say it was daunting. Because I did enjoy it. It was different because I had to step out of my comfort zone a little bit with some of the things I had to, that I wanted to do. Because like I didn't want to just come over there and, make Turbo Zone content. I wanted to make, Majora T content, for your channel. So I had to put myself into more of a, I guess, for the sake of I did the Sonic Mania video essay. For that, I had to, put myself into more of like a writer's, headspace than just like a commentator's headspace. I was trying to come up with creative ideas for the, you always do creative and funny stuff for the, stuff, the speaks segments and stuff. And I was trying to, do that kind of stuff for that and the hardware review and stuff like that. So it was a different process. I enjoyed it. It was refreshing to kind of get the step back from what I usually do on Turbo Zone and kind of take things from a different perspective. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't say daunting, but it was definitely like a shift that at first I was like, how am I going to do this?
Right. Yeah, it was very interesting. I really liked each of the videos that you had put out, and I was surprised by a couple of the picks because I think what you did is you saw potential in a couple video formats that I don't even mess with too much, like Beginner's Guide. I had only done 2 of them, and so I thought that was really cool and actually kind of opened my eyes to maybe things that I could do, a beginner's guide on too. So I was really happy to see that. The video essay, I think that came out terrifically. I'm happy to see a good response, in terms of viewership, but also in terms of comments. People really could read into your passion for Sonic Mania with that. So I was so proud.
I hate Sonic.
Clearly.
I'm just kidding.
Especially Mania.
Especially Sonic Mania. You guys didn't get the video at all.
You missed the point.
Yeah, that was the challenge for me. Was that like, because I know when we first started doing that, and you could talk on your process in a minute too. Was like whenever we first started coming up with the idea of like, okay, let's trade channels, and then we were like throwing pitches back and forth and like, okay, I think I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna do this. While I was trying to like make content that would feel like it belonged on your channel as part of your channel, but also would have my identity as I guess Turbo Zone and the kind of stuff I like to do over there. So it was hard to, because like I had many ideas that I pitched your way, and I kept shifting it because I was like, I have to find like a middle ground where it's like, this is Majora T content, but it's clearly like coming from me and not you, and it's also not just Turbo Zone content,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this weird middle ground that I had to meet. That was the hardest part, I think.
Yeah, I think there is something about it's not simply just like, okay, well, he does this type of video, so I'm going to do this type of video. The tone has to match, which I think you did great. I think it really does, kind of suit the channel, and I'm happy to, throw them in the playlist. Even the mask thumbnail, I was throwing it on a couple videos, and I think there's kind of a stylistic match there. So,
What was your process for this?
interesting to say the least. I think for, like with my channel, I have so many different series that, there's kind of a mix and match, and you had to kind of figure out what was the right one for you. For your channel, I feel like there are a few things that you focus in on. So it was less room for like, I can select from all of these different things. And more so I had to kind of internalize what is doing commercials with Spencer like, or like, how am I going to have a dojo cast with Damon when, I've never spoke to him one-on-one. And there was a certain element, not necessarily like challenge, but like of kind of the new territory for me. The Darius Gaiden review, that's more so my element. And I do like doing these kind of like cool, fun, creative video processes. And that's the type of video I like going back and, reflecting on and watching the most, is like those ones where I really am very pensive in terms of the video making process, and I'm happy to go back and watch. Some of the jokes, and they may not always land, but the fact that I'm trying to keep it fun and engaging throughout is important, and also teaching the viewers a couple of things. Like the controller swap trick in order to progress through the game. I learned that from Boston Burf, but nobody really talks about that stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great strategy, and I'm sure that's not the only game it applies to. But it was kind of important for me to make sure that this is not just simply an off the cuff thing. That like I was very much purposeful in what I was talking about. With the ranking video, it was also I did 2 takes for that. I don't always do 2 takes for a video now. I usually don't. I try and get it done in the first take. But I had felt that I wasn't in the first take as commentative on certain aspects of Dragon Quest that I would have liked. And by the time this posts, all of those videos will have posted on your channel. So there's no spoilers or anything. And I think it was important for me to be kind of a representative for that series. With the things that you rank, I feel like you are very much an authority on them. Suda51 games, Sonic games, NES to an extent. And for me, I wanted to make sure that my Dragon Quest knowledge was speaking for itself. And so like that was also important to me. With the Dojo Cast, Damon has kind of like, we've spoken to him several times in a shared podcast. And I think we meshed really well together. I was really happy to kind of bounce off ideas from him, but also I was aware that he had known who Takeshi Kitano was and enjoyed him. I was very much surprised in the moment to find that he hadn't seen any of the 3 films I talked about. I was like, yeah, I can't talk about these as in depth as I would have liked, but it did give me kind of like a spotlight there, and I thought that was really interesting. And I think he just works really well as a podcasting partner. So it was really refreshing to see that translate not only with the way that you guys do it, but also when he was there with me. And then commercials, that was honestly the one that maybe I found most quote unquote daunting, because I'm not used reactions. You can't take reactions back. You can't just like, if it's failing, you can't just go and be like, I'm going to redo this. So the commercials, admittedly, is maybe not my personal favorite, but if people like it, then that's great, and I'm happy I was able to contribute to that series. I think overall the process was fun, and it did open up my eyes in a way, especially things like the Darius Gaiden review, in the sense that like I like film projects and putting a little bit more effort into them. It doesn't always work with my format, because I'm more so of a get as much content out as you can type of person with the the Majora T Speaks. But it is something that I do enjoy doing. With Damon, that actually meets something that I've been trying to make sure I do on my channel, but also on the Button Mappers. We really like getting guests on and talking to them. With the Majora T Cast, I really try and challenge myself to invite whoever I can, whenever I can, as long as they're a good match for the channel. And so, I haven't spoken with Damon before, but it was still really good to be able to have that kind of step out of my comfort zone, like you were saying.
That was a great episode of Dojo, I have to say. I have to record Dojo here in a little bit after we're done with this, so kind of intimidated.
Yeah, I saw Axel's comment.
Axel wanted you to replace me. As the
Axel,
host.
there could be three senseis, okay, but Alex is the primary one. So is Damon.
Um, yeah, It's a shared. um, you know, I know that coming from the stuff you do over on Majora T, that it tends to be a lot more. You tend to, because I don't know your process exactly for and I don't know if you want to give this stuff away. It's fine if you don't, but is that I always felt like you were not like scripted, but you had taken your notes. You'd kind of like had your thoughts written out. In a sense, you already knew going into the video. Doing something like commercials or even the rankings, that's hard from a sense of like you can't really predict anything. You kind of just have to. The video just kind of has to happen. I've had ranking videos that I've taken down and reshot because doing that kind of stuff in one go can be tricky. To try to be informative and entertaining. So and the commercials, yeah, that's another one like that as well. That's like get a whole hour where like if you fuck up, you fucked up.
Yeah, there's no taking it back. What was hard for me with the ranking, actually, I'm remembering it now, was I had all the games in front of me. I actually didn't script out like an order about like where do I want to put this. And so I was like, I spent like 2 minutes like holding like Dragon Quest V and Dragon Quest 7 or 8, and I was like, this is really hard. This is really hard. I guess I'm gonna go with 8 because it's pretty like it's not as story and so like there was like an awkwardness to it. When I came into it the second time, I really wanted to make sure I had like that plan, so you didn't have to hear that kind of like thinking time. There's a place for it, but in a ranking video, I feel like you should be more your thought process should be confirmed. So, but I can totally see where you're coming from.
I really liked your videos. I think the Darius one, I think it matched the tone of a lot of the reviews that I've done over the last couple years. So that was awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you
for making videos.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, I don't know. I think you may have the last Majora T Speaks returns for a little while. I'm actually going to have to put those on the back burner. So it's unfortunate for me, but actually it's great for you because you kind of closed off the series for the time being.
Turbo Z squeaks.
There we go. That's season 3. Yeah, it is a lot. It's a lot to put like I understand why, you did throw the word daunting out because, it's even for me, it's like I have to schedule all these videos, create all these videos, do the Q&A, then throw them together in this one thing that I put out first, and then clip like questions from Q&A, and I have something coming out every Tuesday and Friday. Realistically, coming back to work, I don't know if I can keep up that pace.
Oh, dude, you were way more scheduled than I am with that stuff. The Turbos on videos happen when they happen. Mm-hmm. I don't have a schedule for that at all. So, yeah, so that was one aspect. It was like, I know I have to get all of this done. Turbozone, I'm used to being like, yeah, I think I'll do this. And then just doing one video, then being like, what should I do next? With a Speaks episode, you can't really do that. You gotta do it all at once in a sense. You gotta, you have a deadline, and that can be a tough thing to maintain.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to have to reassess where I'm at, in the current stage and just do what's best for me and my mental health and the channel. I think, though, you're developing a good pacing because, we share the button mappers and it is a lot. It is very much a lot to do, to record. We meet up every weekend just about, virtually in order to record something. Then there's editing. And then, we've been working on getting review clips scheduled for that channel as well. So, and then to be able to focus on a whole nother channel outside of that, let alone a third one that you are doing, as a monthly thing, to be able to put out anything and multiple things during a month, I think it really does speak, Majority speaks, volumes about the love for the creation. Have you felt, how have you felt with regards to the creative process as of late?
I felt better there for a little bit. I think 2020 maybe. The end of 2019 and leading into 2020 there for a little bit. I was basically when we started Bud Mappers. That was the because I mean that's I'm not we haven't been shy about talking about that's why the Bud Mappers was even started was for our we had creative desires that our channels weren't achieving and you know that's kind of like where that started was like we need to do something. Um, yeah, I was not feeling it for a little bit on Turbo Zone. I wasn't doing too much over there. I did like maybe like the Galaga video and like I did like the GameStop stuff for the mappers. I did a few things, but I just wasn't in my creative groove. And I think I forgot when it started. Maybe like late last year, early this year. I really got back into it. And I was enjoying making videos again. And that's basically what it's all about. I don't care if you're making profit or not. If you're doing this and you're just not having fun with it, then why are you even doing it?
Yeah.
There's no point. Again, unless even if you're turning a profit, I wouldn't want to do that every day if I was if it just felt like I was just doing it to do it.
Oh yeah, listen, if you want to make a profit, go ahead and do makeup videos, or something like if you're that mindset that you don't care and you're just in this to make money. That's why when I hear like the profit, like not necessarily shilling kind of thing, like if you're making money talking about games, like that, you're kind of betraying the sincerity. I just don't agree with that. Because like I think especially for you and I, whatever your stance on profiting on content, we do this because we love it. I genuinely do love being as creative as possible with the content that I put out. To me, it will be a dream to be able to do this for a living, and I don't see why people should squash on that as a possibility.
Yeah, no, I agree. Whenever I see people that are making a living doing this, it's easy for me to tell which ones actually want to do it and which ones are just here for the paycheck.
And which ones make stupid thumbnails of themselves like
it's always
we're not going to call out
like,
anyone.
Kirby fucked my mom. And it's it's not that.
That would be a great title, by the way.
I wish that was Kirby. Hold on. Me and Damon. Let me pull up my text. I was talking to Damon last night, and I think I had a good one, and I don't remember what that. Hold on. I had a good like funny thumbnail thing. Damn it. I'm so sad now. I don't know. I can't find it now. Wasted potential here. Anyway, the people that I can tell actually want to do this that are still making a profit, you can still kind of tell. I'm a huge fan, and I've made this I think pretty vocal of Scott the Woz. I watch his videos all the time, and he's been blowing up recently. He's gotten pretty big. He's featured everywhere. And, but when you watch his videos, it still feels like a passion project. It still feels like he's making it like with a bunch of friends, and like it's just something he wants to do. It doesn't feel like he doesn't open up the video and he's not like, hey, Scott here, buy Raycons, because Raycon, the videos don't have sponsorship, but he's just doing it because that's what he's passionate about. He'll do videos where he's talking about games. He'll do videos where he's just doing a funny skit because he wants to do a funny skit.
Right.
It's just whatever he wants to do, and I really admire that. And again, he's blowing up recently. That's great, but like, I can definitely tell that he wants to make this content.
Yeah.
I think that's an easy thing to tell, is that like how much fun they're having making the content really reflects in the content.
Right. Now, we did, I think it's interesting, we both brought up like the Darius video. That kind of video requires, and even like a Scott the Woz video, like a certain level of like super attentiveness to the individual video project, whereas something like this is more like casual and like we can sit down and
Oh, yeah.
talk. Do you think passion can take multiple forms in terms of content creation?
Absolutely. There's no one way to make a video, you know? So
Because
it's like,
I'm thinking
if,
too to the review thing, right? Like we used to do
yeah.
more so like let's just do a review, and we've gone back and forth about like are we doing reviews, are we not doing reviews, what are we doing? You know, what's best for the channel, and what do I love doing? Where do you stand on like maybe the way that we've done it in the past versus the way that we do it now and going forward?
Um, speaking I'll speak to both. Speaking individually, I know that my older videos, even though some people seem to enjoy when I'm posting the shitty videos. Some people seem to. I've gotten a few comments that are like, "You were good then too," and I was like, "Really?" You were like, I didn't think so.
You were.
But you know, it's back then I was more focused on the commentary style and just getting my thoughts out there. I think towards the end of the run of those videos, I would try to maybe not like script things out, but kind of like lead in with a point and kind of like make it a little more of a narrative. And that's something that I've tried to carry over when creating Turbo Zone. Is that like and I've gone back and forth. I've done like commentary style and heavily edited styles and this and that, trying different things out. Um, and I lost track of what I was going to say. Sorry. Whoops. And going back and forth between those two styles, and it's just I think it almost has to be like a game per game basis, almost. Like sometimes, like, yeah, I can lead in, Crazy Taxi 3. I can lead in. I have a lot to say about that game because people don't talk about it. It's a game that I don't know if anybody knows it even exists. It's just a third Crazy Taxi game. What? I wanted to make a funny KFC joke, and I want to, do whatever. But there's other games that like I don't know if I could do a bit. I don't know if I could like sketch out a whole thing for this game. It's like I'm just the Earth Defense Force spaceship shooter. Like I'm just gonna do a review, I guess, or the Angry Birds VR. It's like I'm just gonna talk about the weird Angry Birds VR exists.
Mm.
It's like it's almost game per game. So I don't think I've like, and correct me if I'm wrong if you've noticed a pattern, but I don't think I've personally settled into one over the other. I think it's just almost like I'll go back and forth, and I'll be like, okay, this game deserves, whatever. What's the one I did last year, or sorry, this year. Fuck man, what's the game called? The one on the Saturn, the shooter game.
Oh, Solar Eclipse.
Solar Eclipse. It's like that game is weird and funny because it has like cutscenes with like actors and it's cheesy and stuff. It's like that deserves like a full thing. It's like Angry Birds VR does not deserve a full thing.
Yeah.
It's like that's just a commentary video.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I think I've settled into like just picking and choosing with that. In terms of us, we started doing Turbo Zone commentary style, and I think what we should have done that we didn't know we should have done back then was we should have just made a podcast, because that's exactly the kind of stuff we were doing, and that's sort of what we've carried over into the button mappers, was like just the more commutative aspect of it all, of like the reviewing. When we're doing game talks and stuff, I can be like talking about whatever game I want to talk about, Legend Jumper, and you can be like, well, Alex, how does Legend Jumper do this? And you can kind of carry on the conversation that way, and it feels fluent, and it feels alive. Kind of like real questions. Because me as a viewer, I probably also have questions like, well, how does this work? And sometimes you can kind of get those points across talking with other people.
Yeah, man. I agree with that. I mean, every video is different. Every video game is different. Our personal subjective experiences and biases towards those games is going to be different. And, I think it's important not to as content creators, we shouldn't feel stifled like we have to adhere to any one thing, not even necessarily to what we notice are trends on our pages. Like, I did a deep dive on my channel and just what's been working and what hasn't. But that doesn't necessarily dictate every video I'm going to do. But it does, it's something I'm aware of because I know like this is what has worked. 16 of 20 of my top videos have the word review in them. But, you know, then again, most of the content that I used to do that has had that airtime since then has been reviews, you know, so like I'm aware of that as well. But at the same time, like, you know, I have to find a nice balance between what works and what I enjoy. And if I'm enjoying making reviews in the moment, you know, be they edited, like heavily edited or quicker, more so get my thoughts out, you know, either is fine, you know, whichever I want to do. And I think, you know, as long as it's pleasant for most people, not everyone's going to enjoy. I still get mean comments all the time, you know, like, you should have done this. You should have done that. I'm like, okay. Yeah. I just say, okay. You know, that's it.
You make the video then. Yeah. You make a video.
I look forward to your video response.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's no, you know, unless you're just like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like the wrong way to make a video. And there's if you're like putting yourself into the video and you're really wanting, you know, it's like, you know, it's something you really want to do. I don't think there's any wrong way to make a video. You know, even if you are the kid with the flip camera pointed at the TV screen, like, if that's what you got, man, that's what you got. Like, you use it, and you know, you make what you want to make. Mm-hmm. You know, you'll come along eventually. You know, it's like there's no wrong way to make a video. I feel like that's a common misperception with YouTube, is that like, you know, oh, you have to have this equipment and you have to do it the certain way, and this is what's successful, so you have to follow this trend, and you know, put the you know, the Kirby fuck my mom thumbnail up and stuff. Yeah. No, you don't have to do that.
No, you don't.
You can do whatever you want. You know, that was what this platform was launched on, was you are the creator, and even if it has become a very corporate platform, that's still, I think, what the identity needs to be, is that you are the creator. The creativity is what really makes this platform stand out over something like Netflix or whatever else, you know, is that the creativity of the individual.
Mm-hmm. Make what you want, except COVID conspiracies.
Except COVID conspiracies.
Yeah. Stick with the facts.
Kirby fuck my mom's okay though.
Kirby took the vax?
Kirby took the vax? That's good.
Oh, man. All right, Alex. Well, pleasure as always. Viewers at home, you know where to find him. You know where to find us. We're out here.
You know, God, they know where I live.
We got doxxed. Oh, shit.
I board up my windows.
Right next to Papa John's mansion.
No, Papa John. He ate 50 pizzas. You know what?
Confirmed.